Hello, Tony here with React Lessons. And today I'd like to talk about React prop types and default props and what they are and how they're useful. So React prop types is an external library that you can install to help you develop your React application. And what it essentially does is it allows you to very minimally specify types for properties that you're passing down components. Um, and it allows you to write cleaner code, more readable code. You know, if you're dealing with a some type of prop, you could look at it and its type and see how it should work in your application. It also, by using default props, it allows you to avoid crashes. So if you're accessing a key on an object that doesn't exist, for example, that would normally crash the app. But if you define a default prop with an empty object, then that won't. Um, and It also reduces defensive programming. So yeah, you don't have to continue checking for, say, values that are deeply nested in an object. Um, so with that said, let's go ahead and install it. So let's see. This is installing PropTypes package into my npm project. And after it's installed, you can go ahead and import that. And I have set this up so that it's outputting the name Tony as with this node prop here. So I want to make this node prop of type element. This should be a React element. So let's do what is it? Node prop types element. And I want to go and say here node prop. Here I could define the default prop. So I'll define null for now. That means if we're not passing anything in, it should render null. So here, let's change this to the number 1, right? Okay, so now you'll notice down here on the bottom left that React now is complaining that failed prop type, invalid prop type, node prop of type number when it was expecting a component. So that's one very trivial example of kind of the usefulness of React prop types there. A more practical example would be, say, if this was an object, right? And and I want to access a property in it called name, right? So again, it'll complain here because not one is not of type object. If you go ahead and pass in name Tony, right? It's expecting an object, so that should work. There you go. Hello world Tony, right? Now here's the cool thing. If you say I don't want to specify a prop, it'll default to this empty object and it'll still work because accessing a value in an empty object will just return undefined. It wouldn't crash the app. And there you have it. That's the usefulness and utility of using React prop types.